Hello and welcome. I'd like to share a deeply felt thank you to Gary Malcolm um, for that incredible composition that you came into. It's called The Science of Love. Gary is a close partner who's gifted us with a number of his compositions. He's an Emmy Award winning composer. And so thank you, Gary, for your inspiration. And I'd like to thank also Reverend Rebecca Suzik. Becky is our spiritual advisors as well as our tech guru for our time today. So, in commemoration of the 2026 UN ECOSOC Partnership Forum, Pathways to Peace today is presenting the Alchemy of Partnership. I'm Hezekiah Gabriel. I'm the Executive Director of Pathways to Peace. It's been said that Pathways to Peace does all of our work in partnership. So in this presentation, we're just honored to be able to share some of those partnerships. You'll be hearing from partners that make our work possible, exciting, and joyful. And most of all, these partnerships bring mission impact to Pathways to Peace. So there are a number of reasons to work in partnership, particularly in these challenging times. It expands resources and innovation and is essential to delivering on desired and shared outcomes that a single one of us could not deliver on alone. Also, in reflection, partnership is the practice field for co-creating a world we wish to see, one we wish to live in, a world that works for all. Partnership principles are rooted in unity and the knowledge that all have wisdom, all are needed, and all have value. The alchemy of partnership is that magic that transforms the impossible for one into the possible for all. Together, we create new ideas, innovations, and approaches, all needed to solve today's complex local and global challenges. So today, while not an inclusive list, we're delighted to be showcasing 5 partnerships, each one near and dear to our collective Pathways to Peace heart and essential to our work. The Oregon Peace Trail, which is going to be presented by Larry Strober. Hubcast Media International, presented by Peter Young. The Guinea Girls Shelter and Peace School, presented by Sylvanas Bangura. Youth Peacebuilders in Middle School with George Anthony and John William Ziza. And the San Francisco Bay Area Culture of Peace Collaborative, presented by Nancy Merritt. We'd like to put a question on the table for all of you and all of us. The question is, what are the core elements of exceptional partnerships? Please use the chat as you listen and are prompted to kind of list those essential elements of partnership. And now, as we begin all of our presentations, we are going to pause for a moment of silence. Today, we have a very special pause for silence. Again, a gift from our partner, Gary Malcolm. It is what they call a transformance. The title of it is A Call to Unity, and it's Gary Malcolm's composition with Sarah McCrum's words. So let's just take a moment to sit back, to let go of all of the busyness that comes into the way of really hearing through our heart as well as our mind.
You are invited to experience unity. It's time to put aside the differences that divide us. And embrace the beauty of each one of us being different, being unique, being ourselves. In the essence of who we truly are. A beautiful array of human beings across the planet. So many different ways of being human. So let us get to know each other. Let's spend time with each other. Let's learn from each other. And let's open our hearts to each other. And let's find the unity that exists right in the middle of the richness of our diversity. We are human. We are unique. We are one.
Oh, thank you again, Gary Malcolm, our beloved partner, for your gift to Pathways to Peace, but also to our world. And thank you, Sarah, for those incredible words. And so as we move forward, I'd like to turn the floor over now to my cherished colleague and the president of Pathways to Peace, David Wick. David's going to share a bit about partnership and then introduce our first presenter. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased and honored to be here and be together. Pathways to Peace was born in partnerships. One of the first significant things that we did in the very beginning of Pathways to Peace was in 1981, worked in partnership with others at the United Nations to help to bring forward the resolution of the International Day of Peace in 1981. And in 1984, well, 1982 and 3, it was to be brought out into the world, and it had not been done so. And so we at Pathways to Peace worked together and brought together many different partners from business, from city government, from other NGOs, education, the faith communities, and worked for a year. worked together and created the first International Day of Peace, which was a significant event in the world in San Francisco. So we were known, became known as convenings, as that's one of the core elements that Pathways to Peace contributes. So another right now that we've been really engaged with in various ways is with Rotary. With Rotary, we belong to Rotary E Club of World Peace, and through that, we have also created some new activities and innovations. I'd like to introduce Larry Strober, who is one of my partners, and working together and through Rotary. And we both live in Oregon. I live in Ashland, Oregon. He's up near Portland, and working to co-create the Oregon Peace Trail, which is becoming quite a significant thing. Larry has a lot of background in the collaborations and partnerships. And Larry, please take us into the Oregon Peace Trail.
Yeah, so let's start with who Rotary is. I've been a Rotarian for almost 15 years. I think, because my first day in Rotary was on April Fool's Day, so I don't know whether that continues. But anyway, Rotary is a service organization in over 200 countries around the world, 1.4 million people, 44,000 clubs. It's a significant force. And we started this Oregon Peace Trail under Stephanie Urchek's leadership, our president, with the title The Magic of Rotary. So I started playing the peace game almost exactly a year ago. So the peace game was put together by the Empowerment Institute in upstate New York. David Gershon, we'll introduce David in a little bit. It provides 7 peace activities to create a peace building you. And then it creates a group of 3. So I was very lucky to wear my Team 566 hat. So 566 became Larry Strober, Al Jubitz, who I work with and is Mr. Peace in District 5100, and David Wick, who you just met as president of Pathways to Peace. So we created this group, and one of the avenues in the peace actions are empowerment, oneness, unity, cooperation, abundance, love, and faith. So when we were talking about cooperation, we had just had a visitor at our Rotary Club from Alaska, 2 people who were putting together 20,000 meals a month in Ukraine at 20 cents per meal. So I said to myself, let's write them a check, but is there a way that I can get them in front of 125 Rotary clubs in Oregon? And that was the precipice for the Oregon Peace Trail. So let's see if we can. Here we go. So can you see that? So the Oregon Peace Trail is patterned after the Camino de Santiago in Spain, which is walked by 500,000 people each year. It's a pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage. Our Peace Trail starts at the end of the Oregon Trail, where people immigrated from the eastern part of the country hundreds of years ago. It's in Oregon City. So we put, as part of our peace game, we put on the table, does this make sense? The Oregon Peace Trail. So Al Jubitz and I went over to the end of the Oregon Trail and we met with Corinne Lowenthal, who's the executive director. And it's hard to describe how excited she got about the Oregon Peace Trail. We then went to the Oregon City Rotary Foundation and said, as a Rotary Club, would you support this? So that was the start of this creative energy. Then David did the same thing down in Ashland with the Rotary Club of Ashland, the Ashland Peace Commission, with the Chamber of Commerce. So we had both ends of the trail defined. So the other part of Team 566 is a partnership with the Empowerment Institute, who runs the Peace Game, but they became an honorary member of Team 566. And let me tell you a little bit about David Gershon. David did the first Earth Run back in 1986. David Wick is a part of that. Rotary was a part of that. They had 1 billion people involved through media, 25 million people on the ground. They had the president of China, the president of the USSR, the president of the United States, and 62 other world leaders on board. For 86 days, they created peace on earth. So our partnership with the Empowerment Institute is creating the Oregon Peace Trail. They are the management end. I am the fundraising end, and we are going forward. We are now, well, what do we do first? We got involved with the slide deck. So we put together a 12 overview of the Oregon Peace Trail. Again, we go from Oregon City. It meanders a little bit through Wilsonville, if you're familiar with Oregon at all, then down through the state capital of Salem, then Corvallis, where the Oregon State University is, Eugene, where the University of Oregon is, down through Medford, Roseburg, Medford, and Ashland. It's 308 miles. We don't expect people to walk, bike, or kayak 300 miles, but the trail will be divided into segments. Every 5 miles, there'll be a peace pole with a QR code. The QR code will tell you something about the area, the Rotary Club, where to stay, where to eat, what attractions there are in the area, and what to do if you're walking this trail from out of state. We then engaged a documentary producer from LA, Eric O'Hara, to produce a video. And that video included myself, Al Jubitz, Miranda Clendenning from the Empowerment Institute, Renee Fontenot, who is our next district governor in Rotary, Al Jubitz, David Wick, the president of the Rotary Club of Ashland, the head of the chamber in Ashland, and Irene Kai, who is with the Ashland Culture of Peace. So in partnership with all of these people, we went forward. In May of last year, we introduced the Oregon Peace Trail at our district conference, as did our District 5110 partners down. This is the first time 2 districts in Rotary have worked together. And it's also the first time that Rotary clubs are going to work together to focus on projects. That was the initial impetus of the Oregon Peace Trail. It's to get Rotary clubs to focus on projects together. Together we can make a difference, as it was for this group, the Altruistic Relief Kitchen I mentioned. So we introduced our Peace Trail. We took it to the district, the RI convention up in Calgary, where 15,000 people were there. We also introduced David Gershon's Rotary Peace Game, and we also introduced the Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot. So what's become interesting in these partnerships is Team 566 has become an integral part of defining the Rotary Peace Game and the Peace on Earth by 2030 Moonshot, which has been introduced to the very high levels of Rotary with RI directors, the CEO of Rotary, past presidents, future presidents. So this has become a living thing. We today will be talking to the Oregonian about an article. This will be the second article about the Oregon Peace Trail. We envision the Peace Trail to take off in 2027, probably in April and May. And maybe it will be the second Earth Run, a relay, a torch relay from Oregon City down to Ashland. There is a torch relay in Oregon, the Hood to Coast every year. That's about 85 miles. This will just be a longer version of that. So we have partnered with everybody I know to make this happen. It's happening. It's an exciting thing. A trail like this does not exist in the United States. And in Calgary, we met with the district governors from Spain and Portugal, and they are now planting peace poles along the Camino de Santiago in Spain as a result of our exhibit in Calgary. So thank you all.
Hezekiah, can you unmute yourself? There we go.
Of course, it has to happen at least once. And so, thank you, Larry. Such an exciting partnership and such an exciting project with so many levels of elements that are so important for exceptional partnership. So, thank you. And next, I'm just honored and delighted to introduce Peter Young of Hubcast International. And most of you know, or many of you know, that we do some really amazing work in the Republic of Guinea. And you'll be hearing more from Sylvanus about that in a very short amount of time. But now, of course, as we got deeper into our work in Guinea, it became clear that Hubcast Media needed to play an essential role in that work. And so we brought our partner, Peter Young, to the table for that. And that partnership goes so deep and so wide. So, Peter, I turn the floor over to you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm just going to share my screen here. Let me see how I can make sure that I get it correctly. Here we go. And you guys should see my screen. Everybody see my screen right now?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Young, and I am the founder and CEO of Hubcast International. And I'm honored to be joining you today on behalf of our partnership with Pathways to Peace. And thank you to Pathways to Peace for convening this important conversation. And thank you to the ECOSOC Partnership Forum for recognizing that the 2030 agenda will only be achieved through partnerships that move beyond aspiration and more into coordinated practical action. And today's forum invites us to focus on transformative, equitable, innovative, and collaborative approaches to the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly those under in-depth review for 2026. And what I'd like to offer in this segment is a partnership perspective, one that positions media not as messaging, but as enabling infrastructure for peace building and sustainable development, and one that helps set the context for the work in Guinea that you'll hear about in the next segment. Hubcast International is an impact-driven media organization designed to support peace building, education, sustainability, development by strengthening how meaningful work is shared, connected, and sustained. We exist to help innovate initiatives like Pathways to Peace translate local action into global understanding without losing cultural context, community ownership, or ethical grounding. Our work is intentionally aligned with the United Nations framework and the Sustainable Development Goals, and we support the UN by helping partners communicate impact responsibly, connecting across borders and collaborating more effectively with multilateral processes. In this way, Hubcast functions as enabling infrastructure, supporting the flow of knowledge, stories, and learning that helps partnerships thrive. Rather than focusing on media as promotion, we focus on media as capacity. We build systems, skills, and other peace builder educators and communities that share their work on their own terms and their own pace, and in ways that strengthen our trust rather than our compromise safety. This approach supports innovation, sustainable communities, and partnerships by ensuring that meaningful work on the ground can be understood, supported, and replicated across regions. Pathways to Peace brings more than 40 years of peace building experience, deep trust in communities, and extraordinary abilities to translate values into action. And Hubcast comes alongside that leadership, not to replace it, not to reframe it, and not to speak on its behalf, but to support it with systems that hold over time. Our partnership is built on clear roles, shared values, local ownership, and accountability to the communities being served. This is what effective partnership looks like when it's in practice. One of the clearest examples of this partnership is unfolding in Guinea, where Pathways to Peace has been actively supporting the Peace School and Shelter since 2023. This program serves boys and girls, primarily orphans and village children, whose families need additional support by providing safety, education, and care while remaining deeply connected to the surrounding community and cultural context. Within this ongoing work, a central and sustained focus has been the prevention of female genital mutilation and the ending of all forms of gender-based violence. This commitment remains core to Pathways to Peace mission in Guinea and to its local partnerships. In 2026, this work enters in a new phase. Pathways to
Peter, we just lost your audio. Don't know what happened. Did it get picked up in a car, maybe?
Sorry about that, everybody.
You're back. You're back.
My headset's just cut off, so my apologies. I'm going to just continue on from the slide that I was at. So, can you guys hear us? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you. We only lost a couple seconds.
Okay, my apologies, everybody.
No worries.
We'll just continue. We'll continue from here. Does everybody see my slide still?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just get back to where I was. And my apologies, everybody. So in 2026, this work enters a new phase. Pathways to Peace and Hubcast are jointly supporting the launch of an expanded education program within the new school, including the establishment of a dedicated media center. This media center is not an add-on. It's actually a carefully designed component of the learning environment created to build skills, confidence, and agency while maintaining safety and dignity. What Hubcast contributes to this context is not storytelling about trauma, but capacity for voice, learning, and long-term resilience in environments involving gender-based violence or harmful traditional practices. Media can easily cause harm if applied without care. That is why the media and education program being launched in 2026 are built around a single non-negotiable principle that voice must never come at a cost of safety. Children are not asked to tell their personal stories. They're not asked to relive or perform trauma, and they're not placed in front of a camera for awareness. Instead, they're offered media literacy, ethical storytelling frameworks, creative and technical skills, and most importantly, choice. This is how media becomes a protective factor rather than risk. For the ECOSOC Partnership Forum and the broader 2030 agenda, this partnership offers a practical lesson. Peace building is strengthened by infrastructure. Infrastructure must be governed ethically, and partnerships must respect community leadership and cultural context if they choose, if they are to scale without distortion. As we approach 2030 with limited time and increasing complexity, scalability without integrity is not success. And visibility without protection is not progress. Exceptional partnerships do not begin with platforms, they begin with trust. And they do not center institutions, they center people. And they do not scale by extraction, they scale by, my apologies, by design, excuse me. So anyhow, to wrap, on behalf of Hubcast International, I want to thank Pathways to Peace for their leadership, their decades-long commitment to peace building, and their partnership rooted in shared values. And I also want to thank ECOSOC Partnership Forum for creating a space for partnerships to move beyond rhetoric into real, measurable action. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. You've so said it all. we appreciate and are so grateful for all of the work that we do, with a focus on Guinea, of course, which touches our collective hearts, but also all of the other ways in which we work together to make the world a better place. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
And now, I'm just so honored and delighted to bring to you our partner on the ground in Guinea, Sylvanus Bangura. And Sylvanus, just a little bit about Sylvanus. He is head of the organization called War Against Poverty in Kindia, Guinea. And we were working with Sylvanus when the issue came up that ending gender-based violence meant that girls that were brave enough to say no to female genital mutilation needed a place to go because they would be rejected from their families. And Sylvanus knew these girls, knew their issues, knew the families. Later, after the shelter was put together, a road came through that took out the school and orphanage, leaving the community orphans and students needing help without a school, without education. Again, together, we decided to work to create a school, not just a school, but a school that embraced the values of peace. So with this, and with heartfelt gratitude, I'll turn the floor over to Sylvanus Bangura of Kindia, Guinea. Sylvanus, you have the floor.
Hello, once more again. My name is Sylvanus Bangura in Kindia, Guinea-Conakry. I'm the founder and CEO of War Against Poverty. War Against Poverty is an organization that we created to alleviate poverty in Africa and the world at large. I was on this work. From there, I met with Hezekiah Gabriel. From there, we started working on planning how to stop gender-based violence in Guinea because women are highly marginalized. So for a brief, Stop Gender-Based Violence is an organization that focuses on prevention of girls and also to empower them. We focus on stopping gender-based violence, not only in Guinea, but also at the world in large. We focus on stopping violence against women, girls, sexual abuse, female genital mutilation, domestic violence, and all the likes. And also, we fight to stop violence and also to promote girls' education and girls' rights. It was through this fight that we met with Parties to Peace, and we became partners. Through their partnership, we were able to start a shelter for the girls who were brave enough to say no to female genital mutilation. Presently, we are hosting 4 girls who ran away from their homes to stay with us because of female genital mutilation. Their parents wanted to mutilate them, but they decided to say no because we were moving around the community to sensitize people about the dangers and the behind female genital mutilation. And most of these girls were brave enough to run away because they knew that there is a place to receive them and a place to see. Partnership with only for the shelter, but they have also helped us start a school, a peace school, which has changed so many lives of children in our community. And also the environment and the members of the environment has been touched by our movement, because normally we go to families, sensitize them about peace, how to live in peace and how to be an agent of peace. So with these kids at school, we train them, we teach them how to be agents of peace. When they go home, they talk to their parents how to live in peace, to their friends how to live in peace. So Parties of Peace has been a key element in promoting our work here in Guinea. So please, Parties of Peace, allow me to say that without you and your partnership, we wouldn't have reached this level. So I'm extending a big thanks to you for what you are doing, standing with us in the thick and thin, supporting us, sharing good ideas with us, guiding us on what to do. And before I conclude, I may also like to extend my deepest gratitude to our hero, Hezekiah Gabriel, who is working hard there to see that the work is well done in Guinea here. Bravo to her. And also to our wonderful president of Parties of Peace, David Wick. I'm so happy and excited to be part of you. And also, notwithstanding, our able, wonderful man, Peter Young. He has been working on the media team to see that Hubcast is set in Guinea. And I believe well. I'm so happy to be part of the partnership with us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sylvanus. And thank you, everyone, for your patience with the technology. When we first met with Sylvanus, we had to do all of our work together over WhatsApp with constant interruptions. So we're grateful for the technology we have, but it's still a little shaky. But Sylvanus, we heard you loud and clear. And if you're working with Pathways to Peace at all, you know that our work in Guinea, it's a love fest. It's a labor of love. And we could not do it without the close partnership with you, Sylvanus, and your incredible team there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So
you're welcome.
Yeah. And so for many people out in the world, Pathways to Peace is best known for its work with youth, building youth peace builders. And that work is led by Mr. George Anthony, as the kids call him, who is a primary representative of Pathways to Peace to the UN, and who leads our programs in the middle schools in the New York, New Jersey area. A part of that work is getting kids on a leadership track to the UN. And so I'm going to turn the floor over to our incredible partner who works with partners in the schools to bring forward our youth leadership. George?
Yes, thank you, Tez. And what a wonderful, blessed community I'm surrounded here. And Sylvanus, we were wonderful partners. Good to see you. And we worked wonderfully together with his teachers, training them in the capacity of peace building. So it's good to see Sylvanus always, and I so look forward to the one day I can embrace him and give him a great peace hug, and hopefully continue to support him in his work. And of course, thank you, Peter, for continuing in that support. So working with young people, you have to respect their commitment and their passion towards peace. A lot of young people feel like, really, what can I do? And Pathways to Peace always has the answer. You can create peace. You have this passion. You have this. You feel it every day. There's two types of kids: kids who feel, and kids who don't feel. But the ones that feel are the change makers, and those are the kids that we have to sort of grab and get, because then they can impact the ones that don't feel, so to speak. Or whose light was shut down. So our kids are what we call change makers. And what we say to them oftentimes is how can you create that peace? What does it feel to you? Does it look like to you? What is it that you want to say? And how can we give you that platform? Because that's what Pathways to Peace does. We provide that platform. And that platform is not a one size fits all. A lot of organizations come in like, this is our curriculum, and we have to you have to fit to our curriculum. We don't do that. We tailor-made. What we do is we come in and say, what is it you need to do, and how can we help you and support you? But what we have is the years and years of experience and the wisdom of peace building. Many of us have been out in the field for years, whether in Asia, the Middle East, America, South America. We've been out there. So what we can do, what we bring to the young kids, is that platform, that support. And with it, it's where Pathways to Peace at the United Nations has such a powerful reputation, led by, of course, Avon Madison and her spirit, which continues to follow us every day. Every day, Avon is with us at some level. And of course, Hezekiah has carried that candle and that flame forward, and we all support in carrying that message forward. So what we do with Pathways to Peace is we do have the platform. We have the CSW, the Commission for Status of Women, which is coming up in March. And every year, Pathways to Peace provides wonderful side event workshops. And oftentimes we provide, for the last 5 years, 6 years, at least 2 student workshops. And these student workshops are amazing. They deal everything from human trafficking to conflict resolution, to peace building, to climate change, to gender equality. This is a platform, and it's a global platform. And the young people work on this message for about 5 to 6 months. So when they enter that forum of the CSW, they're ready, they're prepared, and they deliver powerfully and passionately. Not just CSW, but we have the high-level political forum, and we have numerous conferences, statewide, nationwide, international, that they attend, they present. Often, all times, we work with Lindy Crescitelli with the Gandhi King Season for Nonviolence, where our kids, our young leaders actually, work with civil rights leaders and human rights leaders from history, whether it was Martin Luther King Jr. III, whether it was Lewis. Right now I'm just trying to think names. Elizabeth Eckford, which was 2 years ago, she spoke passionately. So we are there in real time, delivering peace building in our communities, in our schools, in real time. Middle schools, high schools, even elementary schools, because kids as young as the 4th grade are ready to sort of really truly deliver. And a lot of it comes with training. And the training is really the tools. And the tools in the training is giving them the specific tools in effective negotiation, effective communication. A lot of times we train them to sort of know your environment, know what you're walking into. And how do we address that? Not only how do we react to it, but the most important thing is, how do we respond to it? And 99% of our response in our trainings is nonviolent effectiveness, nonviolent communication, which creates that middle ground. So young people can bring other young people to that middle space. So it's not, if you're with me, if you're not with me, you're against me. We don't believe in that. We believe that I need to hear you. I need to understand what you're saying. We don't always have to agree, nor do we have to agree. We just simply need to understand where we're coming from, where your worldview is coming from, especially in the world today, where so many kids are sort of impacted by misinformation. And that misinformation sort of truly sort of creates that vision of what they think they believe, until we sort of create that space where you're heard, you're listened to, you're understood. But now I need you to understand where we're coming from and how can we sort of find a middle ground so we can go together. So a big part of our training is also creating responses to sort of issues that come up. So this is who we are, Pathways to Peace. This is who our students are. I'll give you a quick example. Years ago, about 5, 6 years ago, I took a group of students to a meeting, International Day of Peace meeting, freshman students, 14 years old. They stood, they listened, they sat in the back, they listened. And the big issue that came out of it was a lot of parents who were sort of fleeing Syria during the Syrian civil war were worried that the children were not learning in the camps in Turkey, in the camps in Greece. Education was stopped. So I said to my 14-year-old students, what can you do to help them? And they went up to the board, they outlined an educational toolkit, a digital education toolkit from K through 12 of lessons in English as a second language, mathematics, science, even engineering. They just packed this website and they gave it to the world for free. And the next year, the United Nations invited these students to come and present this workshop. This came because they came into a space provided by Pathways to Peace, a space where there was nothing. It would, if they didn't sit with me that day in that space, they would have been back in school learning basically, philosophy, religion, mathematics. But instead, Pathways provided a space at the United Nations. They were part of that space. That space impacted them. They took what they felt that day back into the classroom, created the educational toolkit, and gave it to the world. But this is what Pathways to Peace does. We provide that platform, but you have to give them the skills. You have to give them the tools, and you have to prepare them to go into the world and how to use those skills and how to use those tools. And we continue to support them. The key is ownership. Kids feel when they learn something, when they create something, when they give the world something, that they own a piece of that, and they can sort of cultivate that work throughout the rest of their life. And Pathways to Peace follows these young people throughout their lives. So we love them, we support them, and this is who we are.
Thank you so much, George. And George's partnerships with the schools are essential in being able to provide the kind of peace education, mentoring, and support that our young peace builders need. And you're so right, George. We love them, we support them. And you are exceptional in your ability to partner. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
And of course, now it wouldn't be right if we didn't hear from one of those students. And as George said, every year for CSW for the past 5 years, I think we're on Youth Speak 4 now, we turn the workshop over to the youth to really design and present the issues that have the most meaning to them. And for the last couple of years, John Williams was one of those students. And so we've asked, he couldn't be here because of class, and we want him to be able to attend class, and he's in exams. But he has sent a video. That video speaks to who John is as a young peace builder, but also the importance of partnership when it comes to youth engagement.
Hello everyone, my name is John Williams Ewa. I'm 15 years old and I attend Red Bank Catholic High School as a sophomore. I'm a young Pathways to Peace delegate and have been involved in the program for over a year now. As someone with a lot of ideas that have constantly been shut down because of my age, I'm incredibly grateful to Pathways to Peace. It has given me not only a global platform to share my ideas, but the knowledge and insight I needed to develop my ethical standpoint. I've learned so much and continue to learn every single day. It conveyed this notion to me that my opinions actually matter, and that staying silent, which was so much easier, was only prolonging the issue. I met Mr. Anthony freshman year of high school through my school's association with Pathways to Peace. I was unsure of myself and never really had a firm voice. I've always been kind of a quiet student. I would never really question anything, even if I thought it was wrong. And the adults around me made it seem like my issues weren't as important and my thoughts would never be as infallible as theirs. So I assumed that I just didn't understand and that I would have to wait till I'm older. But this program helped me realize that even right now, I have a voice and a valid perspective that should be shared. Even though I am a child and I am still learning, I still have the right to share my opinions, and I am still an active member of the world, a citizen of a nation. My opinions and what I want to happen for me still matter because I am still here. And with this program, I've worked with these adults and I've seen other insightful kids speaking their minds, and it helped me to kind of craft my own voice. And I started using it in conferences. And that fear of speaking out kind of dulled. Pathways to Peace allowed me to understand the importance of my voice and the effect it could have. So now, I consider myself a more outspoken person, and I stand up for myself because I know that if I don't, a change isn't going to happen. This program gave me the confidence and self assurance that I needed to be the person who I am today, to be the person speaking to you today. With this program, we make speeches, but it's not just speeches. It's more of giving children the global platform to finally be heard for once. It also gives children the confidence and the support they need to reach their full potential. I know that through this organization, also my articulation skills have grown significantly. I feel more educated and more politically aware, which I think is essential at a time like this, even as a child. I mean, these speeches I've heard from both other children and adults have shaped my understanding of the world around me. So I really do believe that this program could revolutionize schools, change the youth, and improve the foundation of our future generation. So I'm really grateful for what I've learned, for what I've become, and I'm excited to see who I will be in the near future. I can't wait to grow with this organization, and I truly think so many schools, maybe even all of them, should adapt it. Because me personally, I don't know who I'd be without it. Thank you.
Are there other tears in the room? John William always moves me to tears. He's brilliant, as are so many of our young peace builders. I keep correcting adults that say we need to hear from youth because they're our future, and certainly they are, but they're also our current. They are also the leaders we need to be listening to and supporting now, because they have wisdom that it isn't defined by age. And so thank you, John William. I know he'll be watching this in the recording. So, and now I don't know that Nancy made it into our room.
I don't see Nancy.
I don't see her either. So maybe just briefly, David and I can share just a tiny bit about the San Francisco Bay Area Culture of Peace Collaborative. I'll start by giving just a little bit of context that 2 years ago, we celebrated Pathways to Peace's first international gathering for the International Day of Peace, which at that time, 2 years ago, was the 40th anniversary. The first time countries around the world came together, and it was on the Civic Center Plaza lawn. And of course, our beautiful Hubcast international team was there to record it. And a part of that incredible gathering of artists and speakers was that we invited the local nonprofits to have a table to share their peace building in an active way with participants on the ground. As a follow-up to that presentation, that it wasn't a presentation, that huge event, we developed additional and deeper relationships with the local nonprofits and the peace building nonprofits. And so following that event, we pulled together the first group of nonprofits and others, Rotary, UNA, others, to create the Culture of Peace Collaborative. And so, David, do you want to pick it up from there?
Well, thank you very much. And yes, that was a great adventure, a great event in 2024, the 40th anniversary. And as Tezekai was saying, we're building upon that and the relationships that were established then and previously. And it is the San Francisco Bay Area Culture of Peace Collaborative. The Culture of Peace has been one of the cornerstones of Pathways to Peace, which you've been part of, and and which was a resolution in 1999 at the United Nations, but it's a very important component. Then the culture of peace is all things that we do. It's an overarching framework or the umbrella of peace building activities, our organizations, our how we function, our relationships, and we're moving forward from what we had done with the International Day of Peace. Is what does a culture of peace look like in the San Francisco Bay Area now? What can it be? And it is bringing together the number of the NGOs that we are in relationship now, but with the city of San Francisco, with Rotary in the Bay Area, and others. And it's very much in evolution. One of the things that we're focusing on the possibility of is bringing a world peace flame to San Francisco, and there's a big story behind that. We have the second world peace flame in the United States here in Ashland, Oregon. But it really is, again, partnerships. And what do we co-create? We have the opportunity to co-create. We have the beautiful relationship with Peter and Hubcast Media, and to bring out the messaging out into the world. So it's again, it's about partnerships, how we work together, co-create something new, something in evolution. And this is vital, as we all know, and particularly at this time. We're in evolution, big changes, and how we do it in a collaborative, wise, and open way. Tezekiah?
Yes, the only thing I would add is that this past year, the collaborative hosted the We Rise as One, which was an incredible workshop on moving through grief into acceptance and then into unity. That was followed by a peace concert with our partner, curated by our partner, Gary Malcolm, that included a number of extraordinary global artists and musicians.
At Grace Cathedral, which was
at
an
Grace Cathedral.
incredible environment to do this.
Right. And so, again, we recognize the importance of not only bringing together people in partnership, but in creating projects that could only occur through partnership, that a single organization could not make that happen. But together we turned the impossibility into possibility in very big ways. So thank you to the incredible members of the San Francisco Bay Area Culture of Peace Collaborative. You'll be hearing more from them in the future. So with that, oh my goodness, let's just take a deep breath. You've been listening. You've been hearing. You've been experiencing the showcasing of partners and partnerships. So I'd like to pause just a moment and put out to the audience this question and see what we get in the chat. So based on what you've heard and what you know through your own experience, what are the key elements of an exceptional partnership? Put those in the chat and we'll see what we come up with. It's an opportunity to share your own experiences as well as what you heard and are taking away before we begin to take on the next pieces. I'm not seeing anything. Trust and mutual respect, clear objectives, ability to listen well, willingness to collaborate. Any more? Those are all key, so important. Give all your heart and soul. Following inspiration, oh, so important. Being able to use one's own gifts to address someone else's needs. Yes, it's kind of about setting aside your ego so that you can contribute to the greater whole. Listening to one another and trust that people will do what they say they will do. Yes. Open to unexpected input. Oh, I love that so much. Give all of your heart and soul. Yes. Ooh, these are such good things. Intergenerational is key. Peacefully agreeing that there may be disagreement. Absolutely. Listening to one another and trust that people will do what they say and do. Trusting the process. Respect, trust, courage, openness, shared purpose, and love, where all voices matter. And as George and I always conclude our contacts, there's always more to do. Yes. Remembering that partnership is also a verb. It's action, jointly diagnosing problems and co-creating solutions. Yes, it's a beautiful collage of actions that need to be expressed and moved on. Just wonderful because it exudes. Yes, recognizing we are one. Those are amazing. So we have a little bit of time. So Becky, I think we can pull up the PowerPoint, and I'm just going to quickly move through. I'm sure these have already been mentioned, but I'm going to quickly move through some not an inclusive list of elements of exceptional partnership. So when it comes to the alchemy of partnership, it's as much art as it is science. And it is about transforming the impossible into the possible. Next slide, Becky. So, you know, everything that we act upon externally begins with our own internal landscape. So it's important to really tend our internal landscape because your partnership values are showing. And this is partnership from Pathways to Peace. We view partnership as a sacred covenant. It's unconditionally loving, respectful, supportive, and enjoyable. We always try to bring joy into it. We try to bring a light heart into it because we know that that helps us transcend the more difficult aspects of partnership. And I hope that everyone who presented today would validate that they are loved, they are supported unconditionally, and they are respected for what they bring. It values diversity, unity, and wholeness. The diversity is really the magic juice of partnership. If you can create the right culture and environment for all voices to surface, all differences to surface, then that's where the innovation can come in. And of course, unity and wholeness are supported by valuing diversity. It demonstrates equity and values all. So I think one of the mistakes we can make is to put some folks on a pedestal, kind of feeling like they are smarter, have more wisdom, have more to contribute than others. Yet it's been our experience that if you bring anyone into a safe environment and culture and provide a platform for them to be honored and supported, that their wisdom is exactly what needs to be heard, and oftentimes is not in many cultures and environments. It recognizes that the results cannot be accomplished without the partnership. So everyone has a meaningful piece of that pie. Everyone who is at the table is needed to create that desired and shared outcome. Next, Becky. So transmutation in action, alchemy, of course, turning lead into gold. That's what partnership feels like, that transformation, and that quality relationships make quality partnerships. If you have to put anything at all into your partnership, it's relationship building, creating quality relationships. It's the sacred yes. David and I often laugh about, we go to the sacred yes first, and then we figure out how on earth it's going to come together, but we trust it will. It creates a safe and dynamic culture for all voices and ideas to surface. And there's a sense of genuine curiosity in that culture. We're open to all ideas and we embrace wild thinking. There's not an idea that could be outside of the bounds of consideration. It's joyful, it's fun, and it recognizes conflict is inevitable and commits to swift, direct and positive resolution, always seeking a win-win for all. Truly, conflict is the outgrowth of diversity, and it can be managed productively in partnership in a way that the partnership is enriched by that conflict coming forward and being worked through. It's clear where the bottom line accountability lies in every one of the partnerships we showcase today. We know who we are ultimately accountable to. In Guinea, for example, it's the girls in shelter and the kids in school. So we will never compromise anything that isn't in the highest good of those kids. That innovation surfaces through the synergy. Yes, it isn't 2 + 2 = 4. It's 2 + 2 = 5, 6, 7, or 8. And partnership, as I said earlier, really models the beauty and results-based practicality of a world that works for all. What is needed on the micro level for partnership to succeed is what contributes on the macro level to that world that works for all. Becky, next slide. So while partnership has many layers of intrinsic value, including it's just kind of the right way to work, its true nature is a means to an end. And that end is a shared vision that can only be accomplished through partnership. So we are certainly hoping, and we're not quite done, but we're hoping that our time with you today has prompted some new ideas for partnerships that can change our world, because that's why every one of you are here. So please stay in touch with us and let us know. So with that, and as we wind down, I'd like to invite each of the presenters to share any closing words, anything that's on the top of your heart that you'd like to say before we disperse from this particular event. So who'd like to go first? David? Yes.
I would like to just share, it also is letting go of this is mine, this is my idea, that shows the made here in my territory. We need to be open, but they go and not stand in the way.
Yes. And who would like to go next?
I'll go next.
Peter, thank you.
I'm a true believer in quantum physics, and if you think of quantum physics, it's not built of isolated matter. It's built of relationships. So when those pieces come together, the results of those pieces are really what the energy that is put forth. So I think just to echo what David says is it's when we come together, we become our most powerful, and letting go of our own component and realizing it's a particle of a big component. And the more we co-create, the more we bring unity together, because nothing better than having something that we steward together. And yeah, just honored to be part of Pathways to Peace and all the work that we do.
Thank you, Peter. And Sylvanus, would you like to add any closing thoughts? You can unmute yourself. There you go.
Yes, I want to say many thanks to you, to Parties of Peace, for standing with us in terms of challenges. And I want to encourage each and everyone that working in partnership makes your work easier. So let's embrace partnership and work towards it. Partner as many as you can with other organizations that can help you to do the work easily, because by yourself, you can't able to achieve your goals. But working with others, not only for finance, but also the ideas. Other people's ideas can help you to work well and to achieve your goals. So I'm so happy for being in partnership with Parties to Peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sylvanus. And we couldn't be more grateful, as you know, to be in partnership with you. I love that the workload is easier in partnership. And so, George.
I don't see George here.
He might have had to leave.
I think he mentioned he had to jump off to help with some snow removal.
Oh,
the neighbor.
That's right. So with that, we will begin to close. And so we have a very special treat for our closing, which is another gift from our beloved partner, Gary Malcolm. We're going to ask you to leave after it plays. It's called Scaling the Universe. And it's the perfect way to leave this event and to be lifted up into what you next have to do, what you're called to do, what your work is. But before that, and I think, Becky, if we can give people permission to open up their mics, I'd like you to all play along with me in a little exercise. So now you should be able to open up your mic, and we're going to want to hear your voice. So please open up your mic. There we go. Yes. And let's open up the gallery so we can see all of your beautiful faces. Look at that. Okay, so with Pathways to Peace, we always say, you are a pathway to peace. It doesn't matter what your background is, what your discipline is, what your history is, what you do today. It doesn't matter. You are a pathway to peace. And so we're going to do a little exercise together that involves movement. And then we will play Scaling the Universe by our beautiful Gary Malcolm. And then you're invited to leave during that song. So the first is, I am a pathway to peace. So you want to embrace your heart. And now I want to hear you.
I
am
a
a
pathway
pathway
to peace.
to peace.
And now, with outstretched arms, you are a pathway to peace.
You are
You
a
pathway
pathway to peace.
And now, encompassing the whole world, we are
are a pathway.
a pathway to peace.
And so you are, and so it is, and peace prevails on earth. Thank you to Becky, our spiritual leader and our tech guru. Thank you to our presenters, our partners. We love you dearly, and we're so grateful for every one of you. And thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
And peace prevails on earth.
Peace prevail on earth.
Yes.